What's up, guys? Welcome back to another day on the channel at McDaniel Motorsports. Working on the Charger still, as you probably may have guessed if you've been following along. I'm proud to say that the car is officially converted to a 4-speed. I put the Z-bar bracket on yesterday. I hope it's in the right spot. I got two really two really vague pictures from the guy at Brewers that I had to follow, so it's kind of a difficult to see here, but I'll try to show it to you there. There's the bracket. Never mind the bird poop welds, but they're strong and penetrated. And so there's that, and then put this bracket in here. This guy is like a little support for the pedal. It's a support for the pedal support, I guess you could say. This guy. That gets painted body color, of course, as will the rest of the firewall. So, and now I'm working on the splash guards. So the splash guards got hammered over the years, and for some reason people thought it was a jacking point, which it apparently is not, because the jack poked through on the passenger side. So oh, and I forgot to mention the best part about the 4-speed update is the hump. So I stitched that in and cut off the bottom yesterday as well. So yeah, there's that. But let me show you the splash guards. I have yet to burn them in, but they are here. Got them tech headed in and clamped. Hopefully they are right. They're in line with the outer body line there, so by the time you guys see this, these will be fully burned in. But using weld-through primer, of course, on the back side, and just to protect everything. Obviously everything will be seam sealed. And then here's the driver's side here. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I took my time and did it as best to my ability. So anyway, that's all for today. See you on the next update. Thanks for being on the channel. Boy, I look really fat. Hey, what's up, guys? So I've come to the realization a couple weeks ago, and a couple of you had hinted towards it, and I was in denial. Basically, I'm a believer in keeping OEM sheet metal as much as humanly possible, even to the point where it may be a little counterintuitive. But let's face it, these cars, these Chargers and Challengers and all these cars are worth a ton of money, so it makes a lot of sense to do them right. And I'm a glutton for punishment. You know, I've done things over and over and over, and building cars, you just do it. You know, you always have to do that stuff, and if you're stubborn like me, you end up doing it despite what others have told you. So shame on me for that. I'm getting older, I'm getting better at it, but I'm still stubborn. So anyway, I decided to replace the quarter panels on the car, and the biggest problem is I couldn't find them. Couldn't find them at AMD. I'm on a waiting list, and then I was looking for something else online on my phone the other day, and some recommendations popped up, and it was Jags and Summit advertising rear quarter panels for Charger B-body. So I'm like, yeah, thank God. So I ordered those right away. They should be here middle of next week, thank God. I don't know why I didn't think of that to begin with, but anyway, I've just been buying directly from AMD. So anyway, I've got those on the way. I took this passenger quarter panel off, which was the worst of the two, and thought I'd show you guys what it looks like. Not much car left. These quarter panels are literally 2/3 of the car. So yeah, kind of scary, but when you realize it all goes back together eventually, and all it takes is new parts, you just got to be careful about, you know, not cutting stuff like this when you're, because there are some welded areas on these guys, like for instance right here, that was a welded area. I don't know if that was from a previous body guy, or most likely from Chrysler. And then I've got some rot down here, which I'm just going to replace. I have a line drawn on the inside here that I'm going to just cut and make another piece there. I thought about doing rear fenders, but yeah, here I go again, being stubborn. So, but anyway, I've got all of this, the trunk rail, or the drip rails, and this deck lid. I've got the plenum under here already. Package tray is fine, or it seems to be fine. Of course, I haven't gotten this off yet. Just the plenum has some holes in it, so I've already obtained that. I still have to remove this little guy here. I've got these. I was obviously got a trunk floor. You guys saw me putting that together, or prepping that rather. Here's the driver's side, and I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but it's so weird that all the driver's sides of these cars are so much worse than passenger sides, like significantly worse. And what I'm told, and what I've figured out, that all the salt over the years back in the day, it wafted over to the side of the road, so the passenger tires are more susceptible to kicking up more salt from the roads, you know, wafting off to the side of the road. So I believe that is probably the reason. I'm sure someone has another explanation that they believe, but that's my theory anyway. But it's significantly worse on the passenger side, so I expect this quarter panel to put up more of a fight, because there's more left of it. But I also wanted to show you guys something that's pretty neat. It's an old world craft, if you will, but this is a lead joint, and when you're uncovering these spot welds, if you come across something shiny like this, most likely it is a weld joint, or a lead filled joint rather. So this panel overlaps onto this guy, and there's actually a pretty significant dip just like right around here. But this stuff's nasty, and I will tell you that It's nasty, and it's highly recommended that you wear a respirator when you're melting this stuff out. It kind of works like solder, I guess you could say. It drips off when you get it hot. I'll demonstrate here in a second. I just gotta put my mask on, or my respirator, not mask, respirator. I have my fans on, which are over there, so they're blowing this way, and I'll still be wearing a respirator. But this stuff's nasty. Who knows what's in it? I'm sure there's asbestos and all this, lung killing material, maybe even some mercury, who knows. But nasty stuff, and no one that I know uses it anymore. But I don't even know if you can get lead filler anymore. You might. But I thought this was interesting too. This joint right here is supposed to be lead filled also, and it looks like a body guy filled this up with body filler instead. So they must have reworked this when they painted it. Well, either when they painted it the next green. So it's got, the car was born green, Chrysler medium F5 green, and then someone sprayed over it with a lighter green. I'll show you. Here's the contrast here. So it was born this color, and then someone shot over it this color, and then another person shot over it this color. So I don't know what they're going for here, but back in the day, these cars weren't worth a whole lot, and who would have known? God, I wish I would have known. I would have bought a whole lot of these cars had I known that they would be so pricey these days. But anyway, this is like a clay pot. I don't know, man. It's ugly, whatever it is. So it's all coming off. But so yeah, body filler is kind of the way everything's gone now, obviously, and you can see there's a big step in this, a really big step. So I just uncovered it to open it, or uncover the spot welds so I can drill them out. But I thought I would share. So alright, so I'm gonna get my respirator on, and I'll show you guys how this lead removal goes. Put my respirator on. I'm probably really muffled when I speak, but I'll do my best to shout.
Now wear a brush too. This is key, because only some of it comes off when you just heat it up. So here we go. And this stuff splashes, so if you do it, make sure you roll back in your seat a little bit so it doesn't splash on you, because it hurts.
Stay upwind of this stuff. It's nasty. So now I can see my spot welds, and that's really the only reason I'm uncovering this stuff. Personally, I think it's probably a better solution than body filler, but like I said, no one uses this stuff that I'm aware of anymore. It's just too nasty, and EPA would probably be all over anybody that be using it. So it's California. We don't get to have any fun here. I can't even buy solvent anymore. Just regular old solvent. It's literally like water nowadays. Even the like body shop supply houses and stuff. It's unbelievable. I used to buy this stuff called VS 1000, and I'd use it on my motorcycle and clean the parts and stuff. And they outlawed it. No more. Just gone. Or at least we can't get it in California. So it's too bad because that stuff really worked good. Yeah, this stuff's this stuff is literally like solder. Just comes right up. You don't want your dogs around this, your cats. You just want to clean it up and get rid of it. You certainly don't want to breathe it. I'm not sure why. That's what I was told. Just don't mess with it. Alright, well, just wanted to update you guys on this deal. I better get cracking, drilling out spot welds. What's up, guys? Sorry about the delay in providing an update, but I've had a heck of a couple weeks. Let's see here. A lot has happened since I last updated. I finally came to the realization that I need to do full quarters, so thank you to those who recommended that in the beginning. I was in denial, and it just ended up making more sense. The quarters were actually in pretty decent condition, but at the rear and where the tires roost up on the lower quarters, I needed a full patch on both sides, and the passenger side has been on back order for forever at AMD, so I ended up going on a waiting list for the quarters, and then I found them at Jegs. So if you're waiting for anything at AMD, I would highly recommend looking at Summit or Jegs, or any maybe even Speedway might have them too. So AMD has plenty of vendors, so if you didn't know, now you know. But here's the quarters removed after I stripped all the sheet metal completely down and got rid of all the scale and loose rust. Wire wheeled the hell out of it, and plastic roll-off discs, and a lot of labor. Obviously, I could see why people sandblast. However, I just don't know anybody I'm comfortable with, so it's kind of hard to just jump into that. Plus, it's super expensive. So anyway, maybe next time. But I'm happy with the way this came out. I'm still battling some scale here. I'm gonna make a little patch panel for this guy here. Not the biggest deal, but strangely enough, obviously the passenger sides get the brunt of the salt, as I've mentioned before. But yeah, things are coming along. The rear frame has been treated, and I've got POR inside the channels here. Scraped as much rust off as I can get. I still need to treat the sides of the frames, but overall things are moving along just fine. Obviously some days are frustrating, and other days you feel like you're actually moving somewhere. So but yeah, this is my first time doing quarters. I've never done quarters on a car, so kind of scary at first, but it all comes back together eventually. So let's strip the sheet metal with my trusty SCT from Eastwood, the Contour SCT tool. That is one hell of a tool. If you want to spend $200 on something worth having, that is a godsend, man. And let me tell you, that I'm still on the original drum it basically I ordered with it. I ordered a couple of 40 grits and a couple of 60 grit drums, and I'm still got plenty of life on the first one. So, and I've done every panel: hood, doors, front fenders, rockers. As you can see, the rockers are in really good shape, like really good shape. There isn't a ding. Well, I guess there is one tiny little guy there, but overall, I was really impressed with how nice these are. Of course, the cowl got stripped. I still have to cut in like the little stuff, but overall, everything is stripped. Fenders front and back. I've still got to do the little stuff that you can see in there. It's for the most part, it's where I can get the SCT tool. Here's the front balance. Front balance is a little tweaked right here, and it's got a little tweaking that needs to be fixed over there. Not a big deal. I've got the rear end out. I'm currently looking for a differential carrier, and I'm going to upgrade the axle shafts. I think they have sealed bearings on them already, but honestly I haven't gotten that far yet because I'm still trying to get that one drum off there. It's stuck. But yeah, this thing, it's seen better days, so I need to go through the whole thing, put new bearings in it. I figured why not order some chromoly axle shafts and some sort of a locking differential. It's got a 2.0 gear from the factory in it, so we're gonna have to go. The guys at Brewer Performance, who are building my 4-speed, told me that I need at least a 3.0 gear set. So I'm probably going to do that. I may just leave this ring and pinion in it and just see what it gets me. Because with the 4-speed, obviously, I only have 4 gears. So, and I'm going to have plenty of torque with the engine that's getting built right now. So engine should be coming in the next few weeks. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, just doing the thing here. I think I told you guys I did the 4-speed conversion already with the transmission hump. So the tunnel hump there and the little bracket right there, and then I've welded in the pivot down here, that guy right there, and I still have to pull the K-member off and clean up everything and get rid of all the consumable ball joint ends and all that stuff, and just order all new stuff. But one thing at a time. Right now I'm in kind of a push to get all the sheet metal knocked out and then put on the car for mock-up. I bought new door hinges because mine were toast. They had a lot of play in them. So I'm gonna start, once I get all the scale and stuff cleaned off entirely, I'm gonna start fitting doors, at least put them on for when I'm doing the quarter panels. So but yeah, there's one quarter panel and then the other one's over there. So those things take up a lot of room, man. These things are huge. So, and there's my rear trunk pan and my leaf springs. These leaf springs actually look pretty good. I know they're 52 years old, but man, they look pretty good. The bushings are shot, but got a new tail panel, got a new tail valance. I think I'm pretty well covered as far as sheet metal needs. I do, however, need a patch panel for a passenger door where the latch mechanism goes in. It got boogered up somehow. I'm not sure when. Oh, here it is. So if anybody has a junk door that they're not going to use or need, I would love to get this piece cut out. That would really be awesome. So hit me up in the comments if you have something like that. I'm looking for that. And then I'm also looking for a fender brace, front fender brace. My Looks like my passenger side is missing the fender brace. So if you guys, any of you have a fender brace, I'm happy to purchase it from you. Just let me know in the comments if you have something like that. I would be really stoked. But yeah, that's about it, man. I'm working on a video about the orange truck. I want to do an outdoor video with that and go over all the details on that truck. I've gotten a lot of comments about that people want to know more about it, and that truck is my baby. I love that thing, and this car is also going to be something that I'm not going to let go unless my world comes to a crashing halt. But anyway, that's about all I can think of. I'm gonna start doing better at posting more often. Sometimes I just feel like no one wants to hear like the little stuff, and no one wants to see me grinding rust off. I actually had an eye surgery last week because I was wearing, believe it or not, I was wearing wraparound safety glasses, stripping rust, and a rock went past my glasses into my right eye, which is not my dominant eye, luckily. And so that was a bummer. And then I woke up the next day and the rock made its way out, luckily. And then that same day I got a piece, I was doing the rust stripping thing again, same glasses, and I got a piece of metal stuck in my eye, and I just, it's probably will come out. Waited a whole weekend. It was just brutal to a point to where I was putting my eye drops in my cooler just to get some relief, because I was out at the motocross ranch for a weekend overnighter. And man, so Monday I go see my optometrist, and she's like, yeah, you got a piece of metal stuck in there and it's rusting in your cornea. I'm like, awesome. So they had to actually put my head in a fixture. I'm sure some of you have had this happen to you. It's inevitable. It just happens unless you wear goggles. And so yeah, they put my head in a fixture, and they literally take a drill bit and drill out the rust, or drill out the metal and the rust. So that was fun. My eye's back to normal. I wore a contact as a band-aid for like all of last week, and went and saw my eye doctor every single day as a follow-up, and God, that was a pain in the ass. So wear goggles if you can. I'm telling you, man, I've been doing this for a long time, and it's the third time that's happened to me, and apparently I'm a slow learner. So anyway, really appreciate you guys staying with us and being patient with our updates. I promise to do more. It's again, I want to keep you guys keep you guys amused and not show you boring stuff. I hate that. I don't want to bore you guys, but I also want to bring you along with us. So anyway, enough rambling. Again, if you like what we do, share it with a friend, and we love to hear comments, good or bad. And we're just guys who like to build cars. So it's plain and simple. And as a lot of you know, this is a huge undertaking to take on a car, a full build like this. And I'm not a restoration shop. I'm just a guy building a car. So I guess you'd call this a restoration. I don't know. I'm just trying to preserve it for the next 100 years. And I'm gonna drive the hell out of it. So this is not gonna be a trailer queen. It's not a show car. But I do want to enjoy it, hence the 4-speed and 600 horse big block. So anyway, enough rambling. I think I've said that twice already. Sorry guys, but thanks for hanging in there and being patient with us. I'll update you soon. Just another little update here on the car charger for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. Getting after the body, the sheet metal, still seemingly never ending actually, but I've officially hit a milestone that there's no more rust or cancer in this car. Holes, actual cancer, which is what I mean. She is in remission, finally. That kind of stuff keeps me up at night. But anyway, let me show you what I've been working on. I got the inners all POR 15'd after I stripped them with my handy dandy angle grinder and SCT contour. That helped a lot in the big stuff. Been just kind of flattening out some of these flanged areas from the vicious removal, but everything else looks pretty good under here. I had to make an executive decision to keep this. It's a little ratty, but it's solid overall. I can weld to it, so I'm keeping it. So don't try to talk me out of it. I'm tired of giving AMD my money. My God. Anyway, the rear frame rails, and by the way, I have the support bracket or support cross member in here. Don't worry. I woke up a couple times in the middle of the night thinking I welded this in and forgot that. So it wears on me, these little things. In fact, I still have to put the trans or emergency brake bracket in right over there. It's actually ready to weld. I had to do some digging to figure out the location, the correct location. But anyway, I've got the frame rails all good, sealed up with POR. I've got weld through primer on the top rail sections. Got the pan sitting in here. I prepped this a while back, maybe probably a month ago. Just getting ready to jam this thing in here. Right now it's just sitting here. I don't even have screws holding it down. I was just trying to get a good fit, and man, these little end cap guys are kind of a pain in a few ways, but I think I'm there. But I think the car over the years just kept getting bumped, and forgive the light situation, but there was a gap in here that so I had to finagle the frame rail back, and I didn't realize that they were bent, but yeah, they're bent, or they were bent slightly enough to give me like about an inch worth of reveal or between here, so that was unfavorable. But I think I'm close. Tomorrow I'm going to screw this thing down and weld it in. I did finally cut those guys out. That was kind of one of those things where you just kept walking past it, and it's staring you right in the eye, and you just don't want to do it. Anyway, I cut it out. That's the easy part. I kept the pieces, so I know what to make, but just one of those things. So yeah, man, they're coming along. Everything's looking good. I got the V-brace in there. I'll show you that. It's kind of deceiving, these things. My rear pan was so bad, and I kept the V-brace, but I didn't take measurements off the old rear seat pan. Dumb move. So I've watched an endless amount of Roadkill and Mopar YouTube channels to figure out location for those, and funny thing is it looks like it's offset, but I believe, and I'm sure I'll be corrected in the comments, that is actually centered in the pan, but the tunnel is offset. So kind of deceiving to me, but that's what I drew a conclusion. I didn't tape measure. Don't get all technical on me. I'm just saying. So I had to fill some holes in this area, or not so much this side, but that side looks like it was shot with a shotgun. But I couldn't get the plane of these correct in the old. I was trying to use the old holes to just re-spot weld them in, but my brace was bent and damaged, and it had been it broke the welds off the bottom, so it was just sitting there, and they were all crinkled in this area and this area. So I kept them, and I used that for the angle to put them back at. And I know it's not perfect, but it's as close as I can get it. And I lined up these holes here. I believe those are alignment holes. Chrysler did that in these cars. For those of you who don't know, they put little alignment holes, and then they also put little little detents like this, so it tells the guy putting the sheet metal on the assembly line where they're lined up. So that was kind of a cool fun fact. I learned that from Chris Birdsong. And then I'm still having to straighten out these guys here. They're still not as good as they need to be, but yeah, I haven't even put up a quarter panel yet. They're still in boxes down there. There's one of them, and I'm sure you guys saw this one too. Just keep them in those boxes just so they don't get screwed up. I did have some extra POR, so I went over some just stuff that eventually just needs to be sealed up anyway, so I used it up on that. The top of the car is stripped. Not sure if I've mentioned that. All the panels are stripped completely. The only thing I have to do left is the hood on the inside, and then I've got my fenders also stripped. You can see them there, and they are POR'd inside, of course. Completely stripped first and then POR'd. That's funny. POR says they recommend to just pour it over rust. That's what POR stands for. And while I have done that in the past, I just don't have the heart to do it. I feel like it's a much better product when you prep. So, but these fenders are in good shape. I am bummed I have one missing fender inner brace. I mentioned it in my last, I think actually this video. Sorry, I can't remember anything. And I also need the end of a door, like where the latch mechanism pokes through the edge of at the end of the door. But anyway, yeah, these fenders are pretty good. They need a little bit of finagling and massaging, but they will, for the most part, they're straight and there's no cancer in them, so I'm happy with that. But I think that's about it. I'm almost expecting my engine here any day now. The transmission's still about 4 months out, which is fine because I have so much to do still. So anyway, just wanted to check in with you guys and tell you I haven't forgot about you. It's just, you know, I'm now realizing how hard it is to hold a camera or set a camera up and do the work at the same time. I am actually doing this all by myself now. My son was helping me, but he's making money at other things. So yeah, I'm a Lone Ranger. So I appreciate you guys following along and being patient. I wish we could post more, but my son actually does the editing, and I'm not doing that stuff, I guess you could say. But yeah, I'll check in with you guys soon. I promise I will give more updates and drop videos more often soon. So thanks for hanging in there and watching this dumbass build a car. Take care.